Frequently asked question number 38. How do I know that my succulent is dormant? Now for this video, I'll be just using pictures because it's going to be much easier for you to understand with pictures rather than the actual video. Now guys, over here, as you can see, this is my Graptoveria bashful, and then I have Graptoveria olivia, both of which are summer dormant succulents. Now you can see the most important part is to identify the succulent. If not the actual name, like let's say that you know that this is a Graptoveria variety, but you do not know it's Graptoveria olivia. It's absolutely fine as long as you have got the genus, that is the Graptoveria, correct. That's absolutely fine. You will be able to determine whether it's dormant or not. Now, as both of these dormant succulents that are from the genus of Graptoveria, both of them are dormant during the summer. Now, that is the most important part. You need to identify the succulent. Now, physical appearance wise, you will have to check onto the leaves. You will tend to see that the crown area is going to look slightly closed inwards, which indicates that it is getting into its dormant stage. Apart from that, the succulent will put a lot of bright colors, as you can see on the screen. Now, for example, over here, I'm going to give you olivia in its growing period and Graptoveria olivia in its dormant period. On the left hand side, you have the growing period of olivia, and on your right hand side, you have olivia in its dormant period. So you can see the mass difference. Growing period, it's very green. During dormancy, it's more colored because it is resting. It needs to have that protective color so that it can protect itself from those harmful UV rays. And the leaves as well, you can see the leaves will get little shorter and they will start closing inwards on the crown area in order to protect the succulent. Another important thing, when the succulent tends to go dormant, as we all know that they do not partake in the photosynthesis process because they are resting. So even during the night, they will not be doing their photosynthesis, due to which they will not be taking in any water. Another reason you will notice that on a dormant succulent, like on this dormant succulent Graptoveria bashful, you will not see any wrinkles. It's going to be very plump, even though you're not going to be giving it a good amount of water. Now, the only reason you have to still continue to water when the soil is completely bone dry is in order to protect the succulent roots, because if you are not going to water, the roots will get dried. Remember, the roots have to have that little bit of moisture in order to stay alive. So that is the only reason why we tend to water the succulent pot which is dormant. It's not for the succulent, but it's just to keep the roots alive and not letting them dry out, because if the roots will dry out, then the succulent will not survive. So in order to keep the roots alive, that is the reason why we tend to water the succulent pot. It's not because for the succulent. And also, the succulent will not show any signs of dehydration when it is in its dormant period, because the succulent is not taking up that water. The water will stay in the leaves. But at the same time, a lot of people talk about the succulent tends to grow during the dormant period. Yes, it depends from environment, from climate, because like in my city, the climate is so unstable. At times it's warm, at times it's cold. So at this point of time, the succulent tends to get confused, and a lot of times the succulent do show a little bit sign of growth, not a lot, but a little bit signs of growth, which is absolutely normal. But again, the succulent is not going to take up a lot of water. That's why we have to cut down on the watering during the dormancy period. At this period of time, please do not add any fertilizers. Remember, they are not even taking in water. Why will they take the nutrients from the soil? So you have to ensure that you only water in order to keep the roots fresh. They do not dry out. But other than that, the succulent is going to look absolutely healthy. It is going to have that intense color. There are no wrinkles on the succulents. This is a sign that the succulent has got into its dormant period. But as I said, the most important part is to identify the genus of the succulent. According to that, you can follow the table that I've put in the description below, the dormancy and the non-dormancy table. You can follow that. You will be able to understand how and when the succulents are going dormant. But these are the typical visual signs that you will be able to see: the bright coloration on the succulent, leaves not getting wrinkled up even after you're not watering it for a long time. Ideally, a growing succulent will show signs of wrinkles when it is not getting enough water, but that's not going to be the case in a dormant succulent. But you have to ensure that you're watering it when the soil is completely bone dry. So guys, I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button, and thank you so much for watching.